Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Matchroom MC David Diamante. How are you doing, David? Nice to see you again.
You too, Josh. Nice to see you. Seconds Out in the house. And here we are, man. Wembley, London, England. We got a big doubleheader world title fight tomorrow night. Very excited.
Yeah, Jordan Thompson making a big step up. You've seen him over the past couple of years in his career in Matchroom. He's fought at a certain level. He's obviously got the European title, but this is a massive step up against Opetaia.
It is a massive step up, but I think he's ready. At a certain point, you have to see where your guy is. And I think, he's come up, he's undefeated, and he's a really good fighter. He's long, he's tall, he's got a hell of a punch. And, it's a good fight, man. It's an exciting fight. Opetaia is a real good fighter. He's a tough guy, coming from Australia. He's an Olympian, and he's the lineal champ. So it's a great fight. Cannot wait to see it.
Real clash of styles as well. I think most people would agree that Thompson brings the power, he's going to have the reach advantage, and if he's going to get the job done, it's likely to be early, whereas Opetaia's got the engine and the experience. There's really two ways this could go, real seesaw match.
Well, that's the thing, and this is why we watch. We like to kind of strategize on what we think is going to happen, but we never know. As Larry Merchant once said, boxing is the theater of the unexpected, so anything could happen tomorrow night, and but I think it's going to be fireworks either way. Both guys have a punch, and I think we're going to see some, as Jordan says, artistic violence.
It's the start of a busy schedule for Matchroom. Next week you'll obviously be up in Sheffield for Leigh and Josh Warrington. I've been lucky enough to be at Leigh and Josh Warrington's last couple of fights, and some of the best atmospheres I've witnessed in boxing. What's it going to be like in Sheffield next weekend?
I just cannot wait. It's a hell of a matchup. Love both guys. Both guys have massive fan bases, and like you said, spirited fan bases. It's going to be a great night up in Sheffield, so very, very excited for that one.
I've heard of a mix of opinions as to which way that goes. In your opinion, who has the advantage, and which way do you see it going?
It's hard for me to say that. I work with both guys. I love both guys, so and I'm going to be in there representing both guys. So what I think personally doesn't matter. I don't like to talk about that because I'm representing both guys. But I think both guys have certain advantages, and both guys also have some deficiencies, and so that's what makes it exciting, right? No one's a perfect fighter, so everyone's got strengths and weaknesses, and it's great to see how these styles match up. I think these guys know each other really well. The fan bases, from Leeds and from Nottingham, man, it's going to be a night to remember.
Anthony Joshua was back in the winner's circle a few weeks ago now against Robert Helenius. Back then it looked, although we were going to see the fight, that the fights have been clamouring for a long time against Deontay Wilder. It doesn't seem, although, that's going to happen now. Who do you think's the best option for Anthony Joshua now?
Well, I wouldn't say that fight's done. I've seen the stuff on social like everyone else has, but I would never say that the fight's not going to happen. I would leave that to Eddie and Frank to make up those fights, and I have faith in those guys. But either way, if it doesn't happen, they'll find the best opponent. There are a lot of guys out there, and let the fans, let Eddie and Frank figure that out. I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not a promoter, so I'm just going to announce it. But I'm happy to see AJ back, and especially back in the win column.
From a boxing fan's point of view, Leigh has really put his name in that mix now. He's sort of come from, I don't want to say nowhere. He was very competitive against Hrgovic, and most people thought he actually won that fight. But the two wins against Joe Joyce, they really propel him up the division, and now he's a name to be reckoned with. Yeah,
John Gillet is just great, man. He really a really exciting fighter. Shout out to Joe Joyce too, obviously. And also Hrgovic. Right, so the heavyweight division, there are a lot of players around there. So I think there's a lot of great mixing and matching. I just want to see these fights, and I want to see some clarity in the division, and I think that's what the fans want to see also. But I think John Gillet is definitely up there, Zili Zhang, however you want to say it. He always told me that in China they put the first name last, and the GH is like a J, so he calls himself John Gillet. So that's why I call him that, and great win, great 2 wins against Joe Joyce, who a lot of people thought was the next Foreman, but things pan out the way we do, and again, that's why we watch, right? A lot of the pundits said this, that, and the third before the fight happened, and then, we see how it actually panned out. So let's get these fights made.
Across the pond this weekend, Canelo's back in action against Jamel Charlo, someone who poses real problems, and I think many people will be looking at Canelo after the last couple of performances and seeing whether that spark is still there. He's obviously still an incredibly talented professional, but just see if he can get the job done, because if there's another loss in the column, then where does he go from there?
Well, I mean, both guys are massively popular fighters. They're stars in the sport. It's a great fight. I cannot wait to watch it. Obviously, after we do our fight, because of the time difference, I'll watch that fight. I'm not going to miss it, you know. Being in the ring to call Canelo is just amazing. And I worked with Charlo many years ago back with Showtime, and also a great guy and a great fighter. So I can't wait to see the fight. I think it's really exciting that this fight is happening. You just have some real stars in the sport clashing, and that's what people want to see. But there are other names that people want to see Canelo fight, and whether it's Benavidez or whether it's other guys. But he's got this one. It's a big fight weekend in Vegas. I'll be watching. The world is watching. It's a great fight, and I think Canelo's going to get up for this fight. You know, I really do. I mean, I think people want to say he didn't look great against Ryder in Guadalajara, but you got to remember it was a homecoming, and I think he'll get up for Jamel. I really do.
You mentioned Showtime there. There's been rumours circulating that they're going to be exiting boxing. We're not going to see any more boxing on Showtime. Is that disappointing from a fan's point of view?
Well, I think those are just rumors. I don't know what's going to happen. It's not. Again, I'm just a ring announcer, so I stay away from the politics of boxing. But I think, of course, it would be a loss for the fans. I think Showtime's put on incredible fights over the years. I've worked with Showtime for many years and had an incredible experience with all the people that work there. So I hope it's not true, but we'll see what happens. I mean, look, whatever is good for boxing is what I like. And so whether it's our promotion, another promotion, to me, rising water lifts all boats. I just want to see good fights as a fan of the sport. So whether it's Showtime, whether it's ESPN, whether it's DAZN, I just want to see good fights across the platform. So I hope it's not true, and I hope Showtime is doing they're putting on great fights now, and you're going to see it this weekend.
Of course, you want Anthony Joshua. I want to talk to you very quickly about Tyson Fury. He's obviously going to be facing Francis Ngannou in a few weeks' time. A different kind of fight. Do you think that has a real pull and a place in the sport?
I mean, as a boxing purist and a guy that loves the sport, obviously you want to see the lineal heavyweight champion of the world fight a real boxer. I understand it's probably a good business choice for him money-wise, but I believe he'd still make great money fighting boxers. So, you know, I don't think anyone in the sport loves it, you know. And I think we've seen that on social, a lot of people talking about that. I think Tyson's an incredible talent, and we want to see him against other boxers.
David, really appreciate your time, and hope all goes well on Saturday night, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Talk soon.